Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and I'm here to provide live commentary, as I've been prone to do for the past, I don't know how many years. Apple's apparently doing something. I didn't even know it was happening until, this weekend. And two of you, which, let's face it, is about 50%, of the people tuning in today, asked if I was going to do this again. And I thought, really? And then someone a few minutes ago on Twitter asked the same question. So I figured, why not? I got my cans. I got my very hefty beverage container filled with espresso. No, I had my espresso today. I'm good there. This is just green tea, matcha green tea. It's actually not too bad. It's like my favorite tea of all time. I decided to take a break from my regular routine. My days have been filled with conversations, phone calls, sitting down with people, colleagues in and around the greater Seattle area. I have been chomping at the bit to do something I've wanted to do ever since, what was it? It must have been the late 90s. This is before Tech TV. I wanted to develop software. Now, I'm not a software developer, but I'm a great product guy. And I always had my eye on, making software, creating things that didn't exist yet. And I still want to do that. I really still want to do that. And so I've been having these kinds of conversations with colleagues, asking them, what the opportunities are. I don't, know if something like what I'm looking for exists or if I'm going to have to create it again. But in fleshing out my LinkedIn profile, I have, over the years, built 5 or 6 pieces of software, or helped build them, which is pretty astounding. To me. I mean, they're not massive projects. They're not going to be acquired by Microsoft for $7.2 billion or however much they just bought GitHub for today or LinkedIn for prior. They seem to make these big announcements like in the shadow of WWDC. I don't know. Microsoft is definitely a different company today than it was, when I started back in 1996. Apple is absolutely a different company today. But software has always been compelling to me. So I've been kind of looking for an incubator-style model, probably going to be working with VCs, maybe even co-founding a new type of fund or co-starting a fund. I think the deal flow would certainly come in from, my social graph. But I've got some concepts that I'd like to see brought to fruition, largely to help other creators, really. I think there are some ideas that have yet to really be played out. But, I would go back to what I was doing, let's see here. Yeah, it was after I had authored Poor Richard's Email Publishing, 1990-something, and I wanted to build an email publishing platform that didn't exist at that time. I wish I could have. I should have, but just didn't have the right people. There weren't a lot of people in Iowa who really kind of saw what it was that I was trying to do. I was kind of doing the startup thing before everybody else was doing the startup thing. I've kind of been having fun exploring those opportunities and looking a little deeper into doing something that I was cut out to do. And so, of course, doing free video is like the last thing on my list of must do on any given day, week, month, year. But, I thought, hey, I'd just give everybody an update. People say, oh, where'd you go? Dude, I'm on Twitter all the time. I send out the newsletter now every week, chrispirillo.com. I assume you're subscribed. That's the thing that started it all. Back in 1996, I was providing perspectives on software, because Chris Pirillo's a software guy. He wants to make software that doesn't yet exist. Empowering developers and businesses and independents and, just being me, right? Just being me. That's what I'm cut out to do. Just be me. So the funny thing is, with that, I have a feeling that this WWDC is going to be Apple basically saying, I was right. They don't have to come out and actually say it, right? But this is what the rumors say. They say, well, iOS 12 is going to be a bug fix release. Oh, wait, you're saying there was a problem with software? What? Really? But I was told that it wasn't a problem. I just want you to remember who was harping on this back in the day. 2000, whatever it was, when iOS 7 was unleashed. You go back. Now you watch all those pundits, watch those so-called techies squirm in their seats. This ain't about hardware, man. It's about software. Always been about software. Always, always, always. And I'm always going to be more of a software guy than a hardware guy. That is faux show. Hey, we got our first super chat. Pez Liz, thank you. Says, looking forward to your 2 cents. Indeed, that's exactly how much Apple has paid me. No, Apple hasn't even paid me that. But seriously, if they come out and they say, performance changes under the hood, and all that, they're basically saying I was right. Just like when Microsoft shipped Windows 10, it was basically the Chris Pirillo was right edition. I'm just saying, I tend to call it like I see it, and tend to be a little more high-level overview than a lot of people. That's the most awkward way I could say it, but I tend to see things before they're going to happen. I can predict these problems and see what the fix may very well be, or just point out the problems. No one seems to like that, though, right? No one wants to be told that. So, if you have any questions for me, I'm going to largely be ignoring chat. I'll be paying attention, providing color commentary as I listen, not having the rights to rebroadcast anything Apple does. I don't want to get in trouble. They didn't give me permission. I know they know I exist. I'm kind of like sand in the Vaseline to them. I'm confident. Yeah, but you know what? My reputation is intact. If I can say I was right again, to say I told you so again, it means something to me. That's my gravitas. So I'm the only guy out there who's hoping there's not a single hardware announcement. I hope. That's my one wish. I guess that's my second wish. No, please, no new hardware announcements today. None. I don't want to hear a single thing about a piece of I don't. At all. That will actually disappoint me greatly if they announce I don't even want to hear a pre-announcement of a pre-announcement. Let's just see if Apple's still tied up in their gimmicks. We'll see if they are going to take the direction I think they need to go. As I pointed out, still delivering the newsletters, chrispirillo.com. Maybe you want to see me do this on a regular basis. You know what to do. You can either become a patron, do a super chat thing. And I know 99% of you won't. And that's okay. Don't feel bad. Just understand that I'm not a booty call. So, we are about a minute away from doing this. I am raring to go. And I will have you note, I just want you to understand, I will try to keep this as focused as I can on the topic at hand, not veering from it. You never really know, though, what you're going to get with me. Well, hopefully you do this time around. If you tuned in for anything less than me, are you going to be disappointed? Oh, you must be new here. Okay, is this working here? Is there a right? Is there a left? I don't even know. I can't even remember. Honestly, I think the last time I fired up this piece of hardware was during the last set of announcements. Okay. I don't even know if the volume's up or everything. Rocky says, just showing support. Have a great day. Thank you, Rocky. I appreciate it, especially knowing your name. That's the one thing that kind of keeps us all together, right? Knowing each other. Instead of just, treating each other like we're computer screens. Pocket computers. PCs. Let's see here. Hey! Apple just tweeted me. Look at that. They'll tweet anybody. They really will. All you have to do is have, tweeted or replied or retweeted one of their tweets, and they would tell you when it was happening. So now it's apparently happening. Okay, so the live broadcast is going. I don't have any video that's moving. I pressed play. Oh, wait, hang on. What I'm saying is I pressed play on the video, but it was just like a thumbnail. I hear a roaring crowd. It's not really roaring. It's more like a dull applause. And And mountains in Northern California. Oh my God, Apple's going to announce a mountain range. Oh, a plane! They're announcing the Apple plane. You heard it here first. Apple plane is happening. The iPlane. Hang on, I think they're trying to be funny. I don't know where this is gonna go. Ah, yes, they are trying to be funny, unlike me. Yeah, this tea turned out pretty nice. I'm surprised because, Apple's just doing a commercial thing and, talking about how developers are the center of the universe, which I totally understand. I totally get. I used to look forward to this day, honestly. Well, first, let me tell you about the tea. I hadn't been able to find the right balance between water and tea. It would tend to be too strong, so I'd have to water it down, then it'd be too watered down, but this is a good balance here. I used to look forward to this day. WWDC, now it's just a day. Honestly, I'm not expecting much from today. But yet I am here with all two of you. Thank you for joining Liz and Rocky. A jock is trying to blend in with the nerds there. That, by the way, that's kind of how the industry works, right? The jocks took over. Technology is now run by jocks. Don't worry, they're not talking about anything yet. It's just people doing things in a commercial capacity. I'm sure this is entertaining. Not as much as, Apple may think it's entertaining, but it's a nice way to kind of start things out. I appreciate that it's a more human approach to technology, something that I think is lacking. And it doesn't feel like it's a stock video, generic, very sterile. It's very organic. I appreciate that. That's seriously. Oh, the Lego Movie 2 trailer drops tomorrow. Now that's good news. Kind of excited about that. Oh, Christopher Drawn says, "Hey Chris. Hey Chris, fellow Christopher. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it." Oh, they're still talking about engineers and developers. Those aren't the jocks, necessarily. Developers are important. They really are. Always appreciated the developers' role. Always. Without developers, you wouldn't have anything, really. No hardware. I'm trying to start the chant. No hardware. No hardware. No hardware. No hardware. Didn't take off. Tim said good morning. Oh, he heard the student developers. Developers from 77 countries. I'd be shocked if half the people watching the stream knew that 77 countries existed. 20 million Apple developers. It's a lot of Flappy Birds clones. Now I see that we're just going to start talking about the App Store. Why not? I heard that the changes they made to make it more magazine style in the App Store actually increased conversions. Still not sure it was something for me, but I may not be the average person who's interested in what they're doing specifically with these native apps. Now they're showing icons of apps, and I see a lot of those apps, and I mean, neat, but some of those apps I've used, and I wouldn't install them again. 500 million weekly visitors. It's now 10 years old. The App Store. I mean, you can't deny it. It's a juggernaut, no doubt about that. But this is probably the most I've used iOS in the past 6 months. Just watching a video, which I could have done on anything. $100 billion in revenue in the App Store. I'm telling you, I can't fault them for that. No doubt about that. It's a lot of money in software. Margins are probably better than hardware too, because it's scalable, right? You write the software and then you could sell it n times, but it doesn't work the same way with hardware. Hardware is more physical. They want more people to learn the power of code, and it starts with Swift and Swift Playgrounds, something that I will tell you is probably going to be Jedi's first foray into programming and development. That's something that hasn't necessarily hit our radar yet. She's not quite 4. We don't expose her to too much technology for a lot of different reasons. We kind of take the approach that Bill Gates did and Steve Jobs did. As she begins to explore, she's, I'm hoping to give her those tools. So hopefully, this is something that's only going to get easier and more accessible over time. And it may not be, too long before she's going to want to do something like that. As you begin to explore the world around you, she sees robots in shows like Androids. That's the name of the show on Amazon. She loves it. She asks for it. She really likes watching it. So I appreciate being able to immerse her in that particular world, if only because she can write her own future instead of just being a user. I think she's going to be whatever she's going to be. I'd be very happy and very proud if she were to pursue a future in software. That'd be nice. Don't worry, they're still talking about developers. They haven't talked about anything that I'm sure anybody who's watching cares about. Talking about platforms now: iOS, watchOS, tvOS, and macOS. Today is all about software. Thank you, Apple. Thank you. No hardware. Don't want to hear a single bit of it. We're going to talk about iOS. Putting the customer at the center of everything you design, except ... the actual user experience. That was my commentary there at the end there. Craig Federighi hits the stage. Air Force One. All right, now we're going to hear more about iOS 12. The logo is more two-ear. Like more two-ear than 11. How to get more out of the device you already own. Yeah. I hear you. Software, It's important. Software will make and break a device. I'm not expecting a radical reinvention, although that would definitely go a long way. Wow, cool. They're showing iOS back when it actually worked well and looked pretty nice. Now it's okay. We're talking about AR. Go gimmicks! Go gimmicks! Gimmick. I couldn't even tell you if I'm running the latest iOS on my iOS devices. Yeah, they're talking about their install base, which is important, especially for developers, because developers know what they can write to. This is very critical. Of course, then they're bringing up Android, and you can't. Comparing iOS to Android is disingenuous. Completely disingenuous. Completely different ecosystems. Completely different reasons to exist. Completely different approaches. For one, Google actually cares about software quality control. One difference. Second difference, Google actually knows what it's doing with software. For the most part, unless it's a communications app, then it's kind of like, how many communications apps does Google have? So don't go thinking, oh, Chris is in our camp. No. Chris is in Chris's camp. They're working top to bottom, making faster and more responsive iOS. Okay, seriously? iOS 12, all the same devices as iOS 11's. iOS 12 will be made available. They say more responsive, and I'm like, okay. That's fair. I'll give it a shake. I don't think it's going to necessarily do much for me at this stage. Once you recognize the software usability and clean design that Google takes specifically with the Pixel, going backwards is not really an option. Apps launch 40% faster. Keyboard comes up 50% faster. Slide to take a photo at 70% faster. Okay. I'd like to hear about your frame rate issues personally. Deepest focus this year is optimizing the system when it's under load. We put iOS 12 through our stress test. Share sheet comes up twice as fast. I don't know. I've been fine on my Pixel 2 XL. I haven't had any speed issues at all. No responsiveness. Well, maybe a few responsiveness issues, but nothing like iOS. So they're looking at CPU performance. Now, I'm not talking about hardware CPU, the software, how the software handles it. That's what he's talking about, people. So iOS 12 ramps it up immediately, like instantly. Those are just some of the improvements. Okay. Like I said, that's performance on iOS 12. It remains to be seen. Let me be the judge of that, okay? I remain incredulous. But they've done more. You're abandoning Siri. No. Oh, augmented reality. Back to the gimmick. Speaking of, once you stop using Siri, you don't realize just how AI could and should work. Yeah, AR. It's a gimmick and it's available on every platform. Let's see how they move the ball forward, though. I like AR. I always liked AR. That's just, I don't see, the most here's when I use AR. Let's see here, AR stickers, if I still have them. Yeah, let's see here. Do I even still have them? I don't know if they're. Yep, they're still available. Look, so I can drop a stormtrooper there. Oh, a Praetorian Guard right there. Look at that. Ah, that's cool. AR. See, looking like yeah, huh? And then I'm done with AR for like the next 3-4 months. Jedi loves it though. She loves picking up the phone and then she wants to plant stickers in places. So they created a new file format, Apple. AR, it'll get there eventually, but this isn't as compelling because, the idea that this is your interface with the world, I'm telling you, it's going there. It's here. This is where it's going. Right there. Immersive. Unless you're one of those people who walks around like with the screen on your face like this. I mean, there are actually people who do that with VR. They like. Adobe's on stage talking about Creative Cloud and integration with this new file format. I don't know. Like I said, give me some good Star Wars stickers and I'll be happy. Let's see here. I'll show you again. Oh no, that's the wrong feature. The photosphere, another gimmick. AR stickers. See, a little closer. I can drag and drop the if I get it in the right spot. There's the BB-8 down there. Now he's on the keyboard, and I can make him a little bigger. I can zoom in. See, drag him around there. That's cool. That's AR. Oh, and there he is still, right there. Oh, he's moving around. Okay, now I'm done with it. That's AR in a nutshell, really. Don't worry, they're still talking. They're not actually showing anything. They're just talking about AR. So trust me, what I'm doing here is a lot more interesting than what's going on stage. But that's important. Adobe's place in this should not be understated, because they're a juggernaut. Accurate measurement, precise calibration. Now Craig's back on stage talking about hardware-software integration, which is what Apple should have been doing all along, because that's their strength. They own the hardware and the software. Now there's a new app called Measure. So like a ruler in your pocket. Ooh. Okay, well, it could have been a video buffering thing, but there was a nice little frame skip there with Craig demonstrating on his phone. He's demonstrating the Measure app, which, I mean, is neat, but that could easily be done on just about any platform. Wouldn't be surprised if Google released something like it. It's a pretty cool idea, no doubt. So he did a 3D measurement. No doubt about it. Pretty neat. And they can automatically detect like rectangles, show you dimensions of objects. Oh, Measure automatically detects, seemingly, the dimensions of the photo. Boy, that's a lot of numbers. Pretty neat way of getting measurements. Disruptive, possibly. I wouldn't go as far as calling that a gimmick, though. I think that's a usable tool. So just doing. I'm sorry, did not mean to be silent there. He was just demonstrating USDZ and how immersive it would be. It wouldn't be surprising if Google picked up on this. If they do, did they say they were making it an open standard? I assume they would. Well, if Adobe's going to be adopting it. So it's almost like. So he basically took an object from the web, an AR object from the web, and placed it in meat space, in real space. That's pretty cool. To be able to take an object here and then place it somewhere else, like from a website, like what would a sofa look like if it was right there, right? And getting the assets from point A to point B could be a challenge, but with that file format support, it would be a compelling experience. ARKIT has improved face tracking, realistic rendering, 3D object attention, persistent experiences, shared experiences. I mean, pretty good stuff moving the ball forward, but like I said, it's software, so Google could easily do the same thing. Google has outpaced Apple in terms of what it's doing with software in so many ways. One dramatic difference would be in photos. Photo management is a nightmare within Apple's ecosystem, and costly, too. Google is schooling Apple there as well. Multi-user augmented reality experiences. It's pretty neat. There's a little sample app that looks like they're playing like with these objects on a table. Pretty neat. I mean, no doubt about it. It's pretty cool. Multi-users experiencing the same augmented reality game. Oh, Lego. There we go. Now I'm interested. You have my attention. You guys thought I was off topic when I was happy about the Lego movie trailer announcement earlier. Ha! Don't get me wrong. I'd much rather have bricks. Like actual physical bricks. Now, iOS comes with Lego bricks. No. You should watch, what is it, The Toys That Made Us on Netflix. There's a whole Lego episode now. It was worth watching. Oh, trust me. Jedi has Lego sets and Lego bricks. Tons of them. So now there's a... Oh, yeah, one of the creator sets, Assembly Square. So they've got the actual physical set on the table. And with the object detection, boy, they've really got to work on that stabilization. It's like... But what's cool is that the AR basically places more virtual buildings around the actual physical building. It's pretty cool. I don't know if that's... Again, I kind of see it as kind of a... Not a gimmick, but... What I see is not as much fun as actually like building a Lego set. I'm gonna say it. It's neat. Minifigs. I'd rather have the actual minifigure. Now they're bringing somebody else in to do the shared experience. But look at it. Let me just tell you this. Okay, so sorry, I'm going to show you. So you've got two people with giant iPads pointing at a physical building and doing virtual things together. Like, do you understand how disconnected you are from reality at that point? Like, you don't need augmented reality. Like, you've got physical bricks in front of you. Real play, tangible play. You don't need technology to enhance the experience. Now that's cool. What they just did was, because the creator set is enclosed, the AR kit basically allows you to see through the walls, the virtual walls. That's cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I remember actual physical toys and interacting with physical things. That tangibility and motor skill development and creativity in that capacity. I don't know. A new item for your virtual collection, not your collection. Because once the app doesn't exist anymore, what are you left with? Nothing except for your physical bricks. You know, I don't know. I have a feeling Jedi is going to look at this stuff differently than I do, though. It's like I can't wait to take her to Solo, because I already know that young Han Solo. Oh, hang on, they're going to talk about photos. Let's see if they're going to do any better than Google. I don't know. iOS photos, man, I remember iOS photos. Search. By the way, you can use Google Photos on iOS, and you should, back up your stuff there. The problem with a lot of these photo management tools is they don't really work the way people work. For example, Diana takes 74 photos of the same shot just to get one good shot. And granted, she's using an iPhone, so the camera's not amazing. Well, certainly compared to the Pixel. Difference is night and day. I mean, I've done these shootouts with her all the time, and it's like, she's like, wow. Like, yeah, I know. I told you. iOS is falling behind. The iPhone hardware is falling behind in terms of quality. And when she sees it side by side, it's obvious. Even with photos, she's always pretty surprised with the Google Photos over iOS. Now there's a For You tab in iOS photos. Like featured photos. And I mean, this is interesting stuff, but we've seen this kind of thing before. I mean, not from Apple, but yeah, it looks like they're. If you wanted a good example of how Apple is trailing Google in terms of software, specifically for consumers, what they're announcing right here has already been seen and executed very well by Google. including sharing suggestions. Every boy, so someone's got Google Photo envy. Don't get me wrong. Hey, if it makes it easier for a lot of people, I'm a fan of that. See, if they're still charging you an arm and a leg for photo and video storage, they're still trailing Google. Sorry, I saw some UI issues, right? Like you've got these bubble from the like curved edges on the bottom of the rectangle, straight edge at the top, and then a bubble notification at the bottom. It just looks sloppy. Ah! Oh God! That was funny, man. Oh, Craig didn't say anything. Did you see that? Did you see the user interface? That was a joke. That's how bad it was. Apple doesn't know what they're doing. Someone thought that actually looked nice. Oh, they're talking about Siri, by the way. Okay, so let's go from insult to injury. I'm ready. So now you can assign phrases. All right, that's useful. Assuming that the third-party API is allowed and compatible and all that. It's a pretty smart addition. Siri is more than just a voice. Okay. With shortcuts, Siri can... Oh, so Siri suggestions come up on the lock screen. I'm sorry, dude. You gotta understand. After using a Pixel 2 XL for the past, what, how many months has it been? I don't know. I lost track. I don't think about these things on a daily basis. And then you look at notifications and interactivity of iOS. It's just kind of like, oh. Shortcuts app. Oh, so this is where workflow comes in. Their acquisition. Yeah, this is workflow integration. Pretty smart. Yep. The shortcuts editor. This is Automator, basically for iOS. I don't know why they're calling it Siri Shortcuts. Why don't they just call it Shortcuts? Great idea. I mean, I used to love that kind of stuff back in the day. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you can't... This is where I have a problem with a lot of people. You can't just take everything that an entity does and say it's great, because it isn't. What they're doing with shortcuts is long overdue. See, some people would say that I'm too hard on the company. Some people would say I'm too soft on the company. I'm neither one. I'm me. And I'm right. I've been proven right time and time again. That whole performance thing at the beginning of this iOS presentation, don't worry, they're just demoing shortcuts, which only power users are going to use. The average user won't use it. But anyway, back to what I was saying. That whole performance thing, I was right. Well, they haven't necessarily adjusted animations, which still look pretty janky. And it could be because of the connection that she has between her phone and the large screen. I don't know. That's another department Apple needs to double down on. Yeah. This is like almost like a hyperlocal IF IFTTT if. But this was the acquisition. It's pretty neat. You can get really granular with this stuff. It's smart. Now this is something Google should copy in terms of the general idea and experience. For power users, yeah, this is definitely a boon. It's pretty cool. I mean, the demonstration and what she put together, having that kind of power on the device, pretty smart. Like I said, Google would be very, very smart to copy that. Very smart. That would not be, I think it would be compelling reason to upgrade to iOS 12. I don't know if it would necessarily be compelling enough to switch. Sorry. Oh. Now we're talking about apps. So we got iBooks up there, the voice recorder, stocks, and news. News. They're talking about the news app with a new browse tab. Pardon me. I was having this problem earlier too. I don't spend a lot of time in news apps, personally. Now, since I don't follow the stock market, the stocks app, and it looks like they're integrating news stories too. Which makes sense. She's excited about that too, by the way. So it's like business news, right? See, now look. Okay, now when they're showing this black, when they were showing that black interface, like the black, like stocks, that was immersive. Like, you did not, like, it just looked good. The stocks app looked good because you had this black background, like a true dark mode. That looked good. This whole white interface, I'm kind of done with. Give me system-wide dark mode, please. If anything would be compelling, that would be voice memos coming to the iPad, which is long overdue. Long overdue. Oh, with iCloud support now, finally. Dark mode! God, why do they just... What's up with the white? iPhone's so white. I have an iBook. You can still get my iBook. Did you guys know that? iBooks? Hang on, let's see if I can... Let me show you. Do I still have it on here? I don't know. Let me find out. Give me a second. There we go. You can get it right now. Locker Gnome's Interactive ABC's Geek Edition. Hang on. Ow. Oh, I should probably take that off, huh? I'm making sure I have enough juice, so I've got it plugged into the battery pack. Let's do that too. Look. Now they're talking about CarPlay. Look. Did you know this? The Locker Gnome's ABC's Geek Edition. Sorry if the brightness is off or whatever. But what's cool about it is you can actually tap around in the page. Like A is for arcade, and you can get little pop-outs. Kelly Issaquah illustrated this. B is for brick. So you can tap around. You can get like little Easter eggs. There's a little dog covered in bricks. C is for con. You know, like D is for diode. Isn't that cool? Like, you can get this now in the iBooks store. I think we sold like 4 copies. Yeah, the Locker Gnome's Interactive ABCs. And there's Diana's in the book. You know, you can get an iBook now. It's pretty cool. If you knew that, did you know that? It's true. I don't think the iBooks update is going to help at all. Like, help our engagement, like, you know, at all. Oh, now they're talking about distractions in technology. Something else I've complained about over the years. I told you, the less you use technology, the happier you are. It's true. I said that years ago. So now they're basically building in features to help you use technology less. Wow, this is so. Am I right again? A second time? Huh? What do you know? The less you're immersed in technology, the better you are? Huh! I can't believe Chris was right again. I'm 2 for 2 here. Wow. Nice. It's pretty nice. Telling you, the more you pull yourself out of technology, the better off you are. It's proven, actually. Teenagers' depression rates are through the roof, largely because of social media. Technology, our addiction to technology is destroying us. That's what I say. Don't trust me. The less tech you have, the happier you are. I know you don't want to hear that. I know people who think that I'm addicted to I'm not. No. Not at all. I'm a minimalist when it comes to that kind of stuff. Minimalist. Software has a place. It's a tool. Oh, they're talking about notifications now. Are you going to clean them up? Make them easier? Make them better? Because what I'm seeing so far doesn't look any better. The notifications in iOS are a disaster. Instant tuning, yeah, that doesn't necessarily look like it's improved any. I don't know. Hey, like I said, once you get used to using a Pixel, you just see what Apple's doing with their UI, and you're like, ugh. Oh, yes, help managing large numbers of notifications, please. Group notifications, fine. Wow, you brought them back. The audience applauds for something that you shouldn't have removed in the first place. With a single swipe, but you got to be careful because if you swipe too hard, then the camera will come up. It's an iterative improvement. I'll give him that. I apologize. Not for my candor, but specifically like congestion. Whoa. Now they're showing you more about how addicted you are to your phone. Cool stuff, man. This zeitgeist, this data, I think it's absolutely fascinating. I don't know how many people are actually going to use it, but it's nice to see. Get deep insight, like how much time you're spending, doing what, when, so you learn just how bad it is for you. How much time you spend in apps, how often per hour you pick up. See, this is interesting stuff, man. Which apps are sending you the most notifications? I turned off all notifications, though. Ow. Now there's something called app limits. So you can limit your exposure in any given app. And then block the usage of the app. You even get reminders. So they're showing you that you need to limit your use of technology. For good reason. I'm with them. I've been saying that for years. The less tech you have, the happier you are. Tech's got its place. Don't get me wrong. But, at the center of your life, oh, God, no, please. That's not much of a life at all. And pull yourself out of your screen for once. Best thing you could do. So it's good that Apple's agreeing with me there. Providing kids data and everything. I'm not sure if Apple's necessarily done as well with kid management in iOS as they could. You can create allowances. Not like money allowances. I think allowances for apps and downtime. Wow. Okay, and this is pretty interesting. App limitations. By category, by individual app. Always allow apps versus don't always allow certain apps. That's limit access to content and privacy. Apple may have upped Parental Management. Okay, this is impressive. I gotta admit, that's some good parental. You don't understand the value of that until you become a parent. Granted, Jedi doesn't have a phone or anything like that, but at some point she will. I need better controls. Next, they're gonna talk about communication, iMessage or messages. God, I haven't looked at this in a year. I got off. I'm done with it. I ain't tied to anybody's ecosystem. So they've got an emoji, of course, they're talking about. Now, Animoji has tongue detection. I heard about Animoji for like a week after the iPhone 10, and that was it. See, now that's the feature that would get Jedi. I'm sure. Tripper trigger. Yeah. So Memoji. Interesting. You can create your own personalized Animoji. Now that's pretty. Again, it's kind of gimmicky, but pretty cool. I never slagged Animoji though. I mean, I just apart from knowing it's a gimmick. Memoji. Wow. Pretty neat. I still don't want an iPhone 10. There's nothing in it that's compelling. Not without a dark mode to mitigate that notch. See, it's not the notch that bothers me. It's the software experience around it. If they can accommodate that, I'm fine. But it just looks like a slap in the face. Oh God, you don't realize how bad Messages is in terms of a user experience until you stop using it. Oh God. It looks so bad. It looks so cluttered. It looks so clunky. Cluttered and clunky. Oh man. So the Memoji is like basically animating as it's seeing her. Boy, they really I'm not gonna say they pull out all stops. I mean, it looks fun. I'll be fine with Bitmoji though. Sure, it's not as 3D, but what do you know? She's just demoing the Memoji thing, which is neat. I ain't gonna slag him. Ah. I mean, yeah. Look, you're customizing. We've seen avatar customization before. That's all we're seeing. Sorry, I'm getting on Twitter here. See if there's anything going on there. They're applauding because she put on sunglasses. They're bringing fun effects into the messages camera. So basically, Facebook Messenger. Yeah, it's Facebook Messenger. Filters and stuff all integrated within the camera app or the Messenger camera app. Okay. Oh, she's going to add a sticker to a live photo. Okay. I mean, this is fun when you're doing, interactive stuff. But oh, her Animoji goes over, superimposes itself over her real face. That's pretty fun. Except her real hair is underneath her other hair. Neat, but nice little addition to have. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. I don't think anything's ever going to pull me back into messages. Now we're going to talk about FaceTime. Group calling, maybe? That would be smart. Or even recording. Recording would be nice. Big leap forward. Group calling? Group FaceTime. That's cool. FaceTime with 2, 3, up to 32? How could you I don't even know 32 people. Now add on top of that, like, recording would be great. See, look at that interface. See, it's a dark interface. They need to make it pure black, though. Ugh. You can go from a group chat to a group FaceTime like that. Pretty cool. That, like I said, that's neat stuff. Google's yet to come even close to something like that would be useful. They've got options, but it's scattershot. Then they're going to say, and then you can do Animoji on top of all that. Wouldn't that be cool? See, now you should, if only you could record these, the FaceTime stuff. The roster. That's cool. I mean, it's smart too, because I mean, we have family and we'd have to FaceTime one and then FaceTime another and then FaceTime another. Wasn't FaceTime supposed to be open sourced? Wasn't it supposed to be like an open protocol or something like that? See, now that would be an announcement if they announced FaceTime cross-platform. That would be a big fat win. Good quality too. Yeah, see, they brought the effects to the FaceTime camera too. I figured that was coming. So everyone's got an emoji on their heads. It's an interesting demonstration. Good quality. Like I said, good quality. Pretty clean interface. Yeah, iOS 12, which of course everyone's going to get inevitably. Oh, Apple Watch. Yeah, I forgot about that. I haven't touched it in eons. Liz's mom got my Apple Watch. Yeah, some solid additions. We'll see if performance actually passes muster with iOS 12. Nothing earth shattering, but I was right. I mean, if they basically go and fix the software problems that have existed since 7. Oh, now they're going to talk about Apple Watch. Okay, this is where I kind of tune out. Yeah. You don't realize how much you don't need a watch until you stop wearing one. And it's like, I don't even think about it anymore. Apple Watch is number one in customer satisfaction, which isn't saying much because there's not a lot of other competitors out there who know what they're doing. It doesn't take much. Now, if you're into working out, I am not. I'm into eating well, not working out. I'll be a vegan for a year on July 5th. That's coming up. My vegan anniversary. Vegan anniversary. This is an interesting story. Apple Watch effectively saved her husband's life. That good story. That's a good placement for technology. You never know. Apple Watch. And they're talking about OS. And remember, we're talking about software. So Watch OS 5 is being announced. So here comes Kevin Lynch. See, one of my bigger problems with watchOS, again, performance. A lot of frame skips, frame drops, inconsistent, decent, I would say, user interface. But, beyond that, I'm so much happier not wearing one. Ooh. But I don't, like I said, I don't work out. I'm not into doing that. I think it's important. Don't get me wrong, physical exercise is important. Not trying to slag that, but I think a lot of people, if they're trying to achieve their health goals, would be better off, not only just being more compassionate towards animals, but just understanding the health risks of eating animal products. So you can do as much working out as you want, but if you're still not on a whole food plant-based diet, your goals are only going to get you so far. You are what you eat. But the watch isn't going to help you do that. The watch isn't going to help you become a vegan. And mind you, just because you don't eat animal products doesn't mean that you're going to lose weight either. Because, believe you me, you could be a junk food vegan. Diana doesn't think I am. I'm like, trust me, I'm a junk food vegan just as much as she is. But that's what I'm saying. We put so much. They're talking about health right now, so this is a relevant conversation. Nothing here when they're talking about progress updates and how the watch can help you with exercise. They're not talking about the core problems, and that is, the fuel that you're taking in. I mean, the fuel is important. Just like the fuel is important, you're not going to put diesel fuel into your automobile if it's supposed to take unleaded, right? It's just the wrong kind of fuel. It's the same thing with food in your body. Your body needs fuel. And scientifically speaking, and if you don't believe me, who's the doctor? Esselstyn has been out of the game, and I guess McDougall is just retired as well. But Michael Greger, he runs nutritionfacts.org. I think that's the website. Anyway, tons of YouTube videos where he effectively looks at research, scientific documented evidence and research, long-term studies and everything. There's a reason that this is something that they've been saying for years. Fruits and veggies. That's what it takes. But, it's not as much fun as eating corn chips, I admit. So I say, it's okay to be a junk food vegan. But see, all this stuff, they're talking about exercise, but they're not talking about the fuel that you put in your body. The watch isn't going to help you with that. It's not going to make you any healthier if you're still eating the same crap, if you're still eating animal products. If you're eating meat, you're still running counterintuitive to your goals. So it's great that you're exercising, but, complement that. Complement that with a dietary change. Not a diet, a dietary change. Once you start looking at science and long-term studies specifically, you start realizing, I'm like, oh, well, this is a better way of doing. You got to eat, no doubt about that. So they're talking about all these new features like workout detection, all this BS. And I call it BS because I just see it happening over and over and over again, right? So it's counterintuitive. All the exercising in the world isn't going to save you. Not to say that anything's going to save you, but it doesn't impress me when someone says they work out, if they don't complement it with a whole food plant-based lifestyle. And people do, actually. There are a couple of Olympians who say, people who do exercise and work out for a living. Those who have been most successful have actually been on a whole food plant-based diet. Not Whole Foods, that's Amazon. No, whole food plant-based diet, tomatoes and broccoli and apples. Not juicing, that's the worst thing that you could possibly do to your system. Juice is not good for you either. Especially, because, number one, you're potentially removing the fiber. Number two, you're not, ingesting these foodstuffs in a way that your body can handle it. There's a reason you masticate or need to masticate before you digest. Not just because the enzymes in your saliva, but just so that your your system can tell you in enough before you're full, versus having a whole let's say a smoothie, so to speak, and drinking it all and then being incredibly full because your body just can't handle that much in such a time. So if you're going to do that, you should in like smoothies, you should sip slowly, not just gulp 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 gulp. They're eating chips. Either in the demo here. Walkie-talkie. Now that's cool. On a watch. That's cool. I like that. I really like that. That's a nice little feature. Walkie-talkie. I would use that with Diana all the time. Doesn't mean I'm going to get another Apple Watch. That's a better version of what was I thinking? An intercom. That's like an intercom. Next gen intercom. That's cool. I like that. Walkie-talkie. That's a killer app, believe it or not. It sounds like a gimmick, but that's a killer app. But see, the Apple Watch not living inside of iOS is worthless. You have to buy into Apple's entire ecosystem, stem to stern, and that's just not something that I think is all that intelligent anymore. So Siri shortcuts are coming to Apple Watch face. See, like I said, this would be a lot more interesting to me if I didn't have to be tethered to an iPhone for management. It would I tell you what extricated me though from Apple's watch was specifically not carrying an iPhone. It just became worthless. It was just a piece of junk on my wrist. Apart from just telling the time, and I'm like, I don't need to carry something to tell the time. And I don't want to use Siri ever. Ever. So you can now raise your wrist and talk to Siri. Pretty intelligible because you're not just say, "Hey Siri" to trigger it. Interactive notifications again on the watch. Now, see, I wonder if they're bringing the same kind of performance enhancements to eliminate stutter and frame rate inconsistencies in animations on watchOS. They haven't really talked about it as much. Now you can view web content and mail or messages. That's kind of scary. Full browsing definitely does not make sense. WebKit on watchOS. All right, well, it's a step forward. Oh yeah, listening to music, which I don't do. Not on Apple Music, that's for sure. Now you can listen to podcasts. Anybody still listen to podcasts? Oh, they're actually going to demo it. So doing the demo. But see, this is what kills me. They talk about exercise, but they leave out, I would say, the larger part of the equation. They talk about the exercise, but they don't talk about what they eat. Baffles me, you know. For lunch, what am I having? Diana and Jedi have been out of town. They've been visiting family, and Diana made some things ahead of time. So we got some, what's jackfruit and spinach she made. Maybe some leftover soy rizo, which is wonderful. Oh, we got some on sale. It's so good. See, that's junk food. And then some soy rizo nooch and nooch, nutritional yeast. It's a great way of getting B12. Because, you know, we don't eat soil, which is where the vitamin B12 gets into your system if you ingest meat that has likely been injected with B12 supplements. Anyway, potatoes nooch and soy rizo. That's one combo. And then jackfruit, which is amazing. I never want to peel a jackfruit, though. And spinach. And then I got some garlic. Super cheap garlic at a grocery outlet, like a nice container for like $1.25. And then I've been adding. I got some bean paste on Manager Special at the store. I love that bean paste, like spicy bean paste. I don't know, that's like the official title for it, but like mixed together in this like mini casserole kind of dish. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And that'll be my maybe some chips, some nacho chips, although not nacho cheese. Can't eat cheese. But yeah, it's, that'll be it. See, I don't know. There's a whole thing about soy. I guess I don't know why it's. Trust me, even if you're not vegan, you eat soy product as well. Soybeans are in just about everything, just like corn. But apparently, people think that that's. And I'm like, no. Did you hear me mention that I'm having anything like that? No tofu. Don't have any tofu. It's not a staple. And then we also got they make like this I don't know what it's called. We get it at like a grocery outlet type of store, like mayonnaise. They don't it's like vegan mayonnaise effectively. But I get this little bread, like a whole wheat bread, which is more like a treat, and then I slice a tomato and on top of it put a little mayonnaise. It's like this like an appetizer type of thing. I have like 4 of those. I try to get in a pattern like while Diana's not here. And then maybe later tonight I'll have some popcorn, air popped, mushroom popcorn. That's not to be confused with mushroom style popcorn. Really really good stuff. It's okay. So like the popcorn you're probably used to is it's not known as mushroom popcorn. It's there's another name for the popcorn style that you're used to, and I can't remember the name of it. There's a certain name for it. But anyway, I like the mushroom style. Maybe a little salt. Dip it in some salt. It's pretty good. But then I try to do the intermittent fasting. This morning I did have like a bowl of cereal because I was up at 6. And I knew I wanted to have enough energy to get through this stream. But normally I try to do the intermittent fasting, which also helps. You got to give your tummy a rest. So they're talking about all this workout stuff. It's just good. It's important. It's very important, but just as important as what you put in your body. The one thing I got to watch out for is oil. That's the one thing you absolutely do not need. Dr. Esselstyn talks a lot about that. That's the one thing I'm not as good at avoiding as I should be. So what I'm saying is, like, she'll do this workout to help her arteries and their functions of arteries, but if she's doing nothing, if she's ingesting products that literally clog her arteries, dairy, for one, it's counterintuitive to her goals. You know, if she's going for heart health, you got to go, like, all the way. Oh, cool. My Hasbro Toy Shop orders shipped. I wonder what it'll get here. Moloch. I have one Moloch, but it wasn't on a good card. And then a Snoke, not on a good card. Not a great card, I should say. Looking for an improvement. And then the new Galactic Heroes series with Enfys Nest and the Range Trooper. Although I don't like the new series because the arms are detachable, which I understand increases play value, but... And then one other thing. Oh, the Black Series, because I got a discount, like a 20% discount. The Dewback with the Stormtrooper. Sorry, they're still prattling on about WatchOS. All sorts of new features. Decent improvements, you know, if you're a watch wearer. Ah, they're talking about Pride. There's a new Pride Edition watch band. That's an impressive announcement. Thank you, Apple. I appreciate you supporting that. There's also a new face, like a rainbow face supporting gay pride. You know, some people, very ignorant people have said things like, you know, why isn't there a straight pride month? I'm like, just be grateful you don't need one. You know, you feel me? Just be grateful you don't need one. That is the definition of privilege. Apple TV, okay. Now we still use our Apple TVs. Oh, the Apple TV 4K is horrible. I'm the only one who's going to say this. The software performance drops so many frames compared to the non-4K Apple TVs, not even funny. Not even funny. Perf on the 4K connection is horrible. Horrible. So just tell me you've improved performance on Apple TV as well. Jen, was it? I catch up on my Deep Space Nine episodes now. And Arrested Development, I just started that, the new season again. Yeah, Apple TV 4K. Talk about the performance, though. The highest quality means nothing if you're dropping frames there, Apple. 4K and 4K HDR. I can't see the difference. I'm sure other people would have, you know, more granular complaints about Apple TV, but it's a best-in-class type of experience, you know. Although I'm still not impressed with iTunes at all. Never really have been. It's like an evil, a necessary evil. See, I probably wouldn't be as inclined with the Apple TV 4K or using it if Google had a viable alternative. They don't right now. Maybe they'll initiate a series of upgrades this year. They're talking about sound and visuals. Although I don't really have we don't have great speakers here. We don't even have great TVs necessarily. Dolby Atmos support. I guess impresses some of you. Pretty neat if you have the equipment. I don't. Not an audio file, not a video file necessarily. See, I guess that's the problem is we don't have enough technology or the right technology to make any of this worth it. Yeah, see, you need all the complementary equipment. We don't. So it's all about the Dolby. I don't know what that means. Oh, they got Star Wars? Hang on, is there Star Wars? Oh, The Greatest Showman, though. One of Jedi's. Even though we haven't exposed her to too many musicals, she loves The Greatest Showman. Loves it. That's pretty. I wasn't sure what I thought about it at first, but I like it. And the Apple TV app, which, by the way, is horrible. Oh, and it's now the center of your video experience. Yeah, but see, if you're a cord cutter, I don't know if this is as compelling. Live sports, live news, not interested in either one. And all the apps, but the problem is that all the apps or video channels, you have to be going through the proper provider, and it's just a mess. It's still a mess. Apple hasn't improved it. No. Apple still hasn't improved the situation. Unless they're about to announce something. There's an old school DVR. So they're talking about how some content service providers are using the Apple TV as the box, which is a pretty good idea, but they got to have the right partners for that. I don't know, none of them have really impressed me. Takes a lot to impress me, though. It genuinely does. Some small things trip my trigger, but sometimes it kind of takes a lot. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's still a mess. Oh, you'll be able to use Siri. That's not a win. In fact, I can't even tell you when we use the Apple TV how maddening it can be sometimes to ask Siri something, ask it anything. Yeah, single sign-on, which was nice for all the providers that actually like enabled that. Now they say it's even easier. Zero sign-on. I don't know how the hell that works, but all right. What are you talking about? That's a compelling user experience. Zero sign-on. But so they're basically working with the ISPs. ISP, sorry. There's another lack of competition. Just depends on where you live. That's the problem. That's the problem. Control Center. Man, I remember Control Center. I haven't heard anything about the frame drops, though. Nothing at all. They're recapping, it seems. See, look at the... In the animations they're showing in the demonstration, it looks clean, it looks nice, but that's not how Apple TV 4K works. They're showing the, what is it, smart screensaver thing? Like locations that, they're neat little animations, clean animations. Like, yeah, nice screensavers. Now they got Earth. So they attach something to the International Space Station? Yeah, yeah. Pretty cool. So it's not exactly like a real-time capture of Earth, I don't think. But they're spectacular video. Pretty impressive. All I can do is describe what it is that you can see. That's about it. Pretty neat. So you see what I'm, it's like you see it and like, okay, and then you get used to it, right? Okay, next. That's tvOS. Eh. eh. Uh, we're not done, are we? Oh, we gotta talk about Mac OS yet, don't we? Okay, going back to the Mac. I'm not expecting much here at all. Just don't mess it up. That's all I ask. Just don't mess it up. A huge leap forward? Okay, Craig's gonna hit the stage again. This may be bigger than anticipated, but we'll see. See, it's the software. Forget the hardware. They're talking about how the updates are free. Okay, that's great. Okay, we're just getting a historical overview here of the naming conventions. So we're currently on High Sierra. I don't know. And High Sierra hasn't been all that impressive. It works. I'll give it that. This year they made some striking changes, they say. So what's it called? Whoa. Mojave. Okay. How many people want to bet that someone's going to mispronounce it as Mojave? I'll be the first one. All right, macOS Mojave. Mojave. There we go. Broke the seal there. Distinctive new features? Dark mode is what's been rumored. I don't know if it's like true dark mode, but... Mojave. Dark mode. System-wide dark mode. It's what they needed on iOS. That where we needed it most, they didn't announce it. Yeah, even the Windows Chrome has it. Oh, yeah. I'm in. Oh, yeah, I'll enable dark mode for sure. I have the dark menu bar or whatever. Of course, you're going to have a problem, I'm sure, with third-party apps that haven't caught up. Yeah, dark mode works for me. Things pop in dark mode. The question is how well will it work? Like aesthetically. I like it. And if the app has it, I usually enable a dark mode. That's something I will look forward to. But it needs to be on iOS, like true dark mode. Mitigate that notch. Dynamic desktop. Oh, wait, was that a feature or is it a new feature? Oh, the desktop changes throughout the day, like the color, saturation, everything. The desktop. Something we all use. Mine's clean, uncluttered. Ain't nothing on it. Yeah, see, I don't have a cluttered desktop. I don't like files, though. Desktop stacks, kind of like virtual folders. That's pretty smart. Automatically throws images in a stack, documents in a stack. Smart. I like that. Very clean. Again, just users need that. They're like virtual folders. Smart. Smart. I like it. Very, very nice. Because they automatically stay organized. I like that a lot. Mail app. I haven't used Mail app in... So as you drag something onto the desktop, it automatically goes into the stack. I kind of like that idea. You can scrub stacks. So drag and drop. Stacks is pretty smart. Not sure how useful it'll be, but it's pretty neat. It may get in the way too. I mean, it just depends on how you're used to using the device. There's Finder. There's a new type of view. Gallery. Okay. I'm into columns. Always have been, honestly. Almost like a preview within almost like cover flow. That's what this reminds me of, minus the fancy animation stuffs. Full metadata support and information. Useful again for people who do a lot of work with photography, let's say. Interesting. Quick actions. Without opening any app, Finder has quick actions. So like rotating photos or what have you. And the sidebar is available in other views. Cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Wow, you can collate images into a PDF. It's contextual. Oh, that's great. Wow. God, that's simple. And customizable actions. That's pretty cool. Nice, powerful feature there. Quick look again. Nice. I haven't used it in a while, but oh, integrating markup in Quick Look. Okay, that's useful too. Because again, I'm thinking about how I use these. I don't like dealing with files, but when I do, it's usually a pain in the neck. Instead of having to launch preview now, you can just mark up right from within Quick View. Which, again, as long as you don't accidentally unclick out of Quick View, which has happened before. Nice. Trim video right from Quick View. Or Quick Look, sorry. Screenshots. I haven't done screenshots on the desktop in a while either, but all right. Tell me what you're doing with screenshots, because I've taken screenshots before on the desktop. Okay, so then you screenshot thumbnail. So instead of it going to a file, you get like you can jump right into markup, which is great. It just saves steps. And then it goes right into the stack. Oh, now you get a heads-up display with screenshotting. That's pretty smart too. Granted, I already have my screen capture for video. Wow. That's nice too, because you have to use QuickTime otherwise. Record selected area. Now it's basically QuickTime recording. And then the thumbnail pops up. Wow. It's pretty easy. Continuity. Okay, so what's going on with that? Which I don't use all that often. I don't use AirDrop. I don't wear an Apple Watch. Continuity camera. Interesting. So now, when you take a photo on the Mac with continuity, the camera on the phone, the iPhone, activates. And then it goes in. Wow. So you can effectively call the camera on the phone from a Mac application. That's smart. It works as well for scanning, like scanning documents. So, wow, scanning becomes easier. Huh. Pretty good. Pretty nice. Pretty clean. That's again, it's a compelling use case of Apple's ecosystem. That's pretty much what they've got for Mojave there. Apps. Let's see if we're going to hear about a rebooted App Store. News is coming to the Mac. I guess that's compelling for anybody who doesn't use a web browser. Yeah, I don't know. Stocks is coming to the Mac. Yeah, nice to have, but I don't know. Usually, if I'm at the point where I've got the time to read the news, I don't want to be in front of a computer or looking at a screen. Voice memos coming to the Mac. Cool. Homes coming to the Mac. For those of you who still believe that smart homes are smart, or that the Internet of Things is not Internet of shit. Interesting additions. Security and privacy. Okay. It's a good feature. Oops. They believe you should be in control. Which is right. You should be in control of your data. Now they got protections for how apps can access the data. Oops, that's not what I wanted. No, they're talking about Safari. Dude. Ah, dang it. They're talking about Safari, which some people use. I'm talking about tracking, privacy, security. They're allowing you to turn off share buttons and comment fields. You can decide whether or not you want to load the comments, which, by the way, is always a bad idea. Fingerprinting. They're trying to shut down the ad industry. More power to them. So are they obfuscating data in some capacity then? So again, with Safari, they're kind of putting the kibosh on this whole data collection scenario, apart from the data that you put out there on your own, knowingly. Pretty smart. I like the idea. Oh, Mac App Store. Here we go. Are we getting anything? Is the Mac App Store getting like? Wait. Oh, let's see. So I guess they are going to be announcing an update to the App Store on Mac OS. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to help the Mac App Store any, but so yeah. So people are excited about the Mac App Store update. But it may be a little too late. I'm not sure if the desktop is going to. It's going to help at all. You can't buck industry trends, man. Don't know, dude. I just stopped getting a lot of software. I'm very streamlined in that way. They went ground up reboot effectively of the Mac App Store. Yeah, it looks iOS-y, which isn't bad. But I just don't. I'm not that compelled to download and install new software on any platform at all. I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know this that the App Store on the desktop, it just feels like it's 10 years too late. Help me install less software, not more. I don't know. I guess this is interesting to some of y'all. And mind you, you guys have a little perspective, people. For those of you still listening, thank you. I've been talking about software, writing about software, and being immersed in software since we're talking like just software and consumer software since, well, professionally 1996, but at least since 1992, the days of DOS, long before OS 10. Um, I'm not sure if this is going to help developers. What are you going to do for ratings and review Mac app API? That's great. So I can be annoyed on the desktop too. What are you going to do for developers? Yeah, of course, you talk to developers, they get excited. Office 365 is coming to the Mac App Store. May not be exciting for you, but yeah, some app developers, known quantities like Panic with Transmit. They, they, I don't know, dude. Nice, but maybe too little, too late. I don't know. So now they're talking about technologies, underlining technologies on Mac OS. Looks like a next iteration of Metal. They're talking about Fortnight. They just, no matter what they do, they just can't get gaming to take off. And they're talking about external GPU support, naturally. But that's old news. It just depends on your use case. It looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I just yeah. It's Visuals are incredibly compelling, no doubt about that. But oh, dude, it's like, has it been 2 hours? All right, I had so much tea. Uh, I I I got I gotta go to the little boy's room. Is there anything I can? No one else is here. So. I got nothing that I can put in front of the camera. I gotta pee. It's like 2 hours, dude. Now they're talking about machine learning. That's great. I really gotta pee. I can't wait. I thought we'd be done. I'm looking around to see if I can find anything to pull out to entertain you. I don't. I removed gadgetry from my field of view for a reason. A lot of it's pointless. A lot of it's useless. Machine learning, yay. Well, I guess I could. I've got my. I can. No, but the action figure won't go on its own. I can boot up my game console. Is that? Here. I'm gonna pee. I don't know how long Vader's gonna entertain you, but okay, Vader, do your thing. Okay. Here. He can't move on his own, but okay. See if I can pee quickly. Give me a second. Oh. No! Keep playing. Sorry, everybody. It was was a big cup of tea, man. That was a really big cup of tea. Oh. They're still talking about this crap? Wait, what are they... Hang on. I must have missed something big. They're talking about iOS, AppKit, UIKit, interfaces. What did I miss? Crap. What did I miss? Hang on. I missed something big. They've taken key frameworks from iOS to macOS. I chose the wrong time to pee. Use of trackpad, mouse input, app window stoplights, window resizing, scroll bars, copy and paste, drag and drop. Oh, it's marzipan. Okay, this is what they are announcing then. So phase 1. They've taken some of their iOS apps and brought them to the Mac using the technology. I wonder if that's what they did with news. Yeah. It's stocks and voice record. Boy, okay. They actually ported the apps over. So they brought the apps over to the Mac with fewer changes. Coming to developers in 2019. It could work. No doubt about that. There's a lot of iOS apps out there. Okay, cool. Works for me. Again, they accommodate the usability construct, the UX of a desktop experience versus a mobile experience. I needed dark mode to eliminate the notch. That's the thing. It still doesn't look that great. I'll be interested in trying iOS 12 on my what is this? iPhone 8 Plus, I think. Yeah, something like that. Oh, fave icons happening on Safari. That's about time. But I wouldn't. I'm not gonna rush to update to the beta. Maybe the later beta cycles. But yeah, I'll be interested in trying it. But man, I don't know. We'll see. It's some interesting stuff. Yeah, nothing earth-shattering, at least for me. But I extricated myself from Apple's ecosystem pretty quickly, mostly. Tim is just recapping, which tells me they're kind of winding down. They need dark mode in iOS, though. They really do. iOS needs a lot of work, period. End of story. I don't think, based on what I hear, I don't think anything would be pulling me back in to using iOS as a functional device, on the go. Nothing that I heard. Because again, they're embracing the notch. And not only that, but I've had a better software experience, I would say for the most part, hardware experience, even on the Pixel. And this is all beta right now. So they've kind of talked. They're going to wind down here talking about developers, highlighting developers. Yeah. Hopefully this is when they're going to close it out. This is my iPhone. That's where it lives 99% of the time. This iPad will largely sit unused, for the next year as well. I may put the beta on here, just because I don't like I don't like iOS 11 at all on here. They're doing a video, which isn't. Honestly, I think they're winding down, people. I'm good. I'm happy with what's been shared, what's been talked about. It's iterative. I mean, I don't think anybody is all that excited. I mean, maybe some people are like thrilled with what they announced. I wasn't expecting anything earth-shattering, but bug fixes. They're gonna do what they needed to do about iOS, and it's about time. It's long overdue. Can't wait to see the how well everything plays out. I have no intention on installing the beta immediately. There's nothing that's like immediately going to draw me in. I just don't have the use case for it at this stage. I don't know. I wasn't really looking forward to WWDC this time around, so I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm whelmed. I will tell you, I am very much looking forward to the pending announcements from Google. Admittedly, interested in seeing what they're going to do with the Pixel, which has been the best smartphone that I've used since the iPhone 5. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do. I guess the rumor is that Google's going to be embracing the notch. Hopefully they mitigate it better in software than Apple did. I don't know. That remains to be seen. Google has done a better job with software, with the user experience. If you're looking for a best-in-class mobile experience on a smartphone, you can't do much better than a Pixel 2 XL. Zero doubt in my mind, after using it for 9 months, this kicks the iPhone's ass, up and down, for software experience, for consumer experience. It's been great. It's been an amazing a time that I've had with it. I don't talk about it all that often because, quite honestly, I don't think about it. I don't wake up thinking, ooh, I want to talk about my smartphone. I don't. I never do. Smartphones don't impress me much. They're just chunks of hardware that run software, which doesn't change all that often either. So there's an update for you. Very, very happy with it. I will tell you that you're in for some nice changes with iOS, certainly, but you should not write off the Pixel. I'm very careful not saying Android. I think it's just Pixel, period. Android's a different argument altogether. The Pixel it kicks the iPhone's ass. It does, in just about every possible way. It really does. So I'm very much looking forward to the next iteration of Android P. I think that's what it is, and certainly on in relation to the Pixel. I don't know though. The notch has me worried. Can they mitigate it? I don't know. But I'm sorry. They're still going on here. Oh, I had it not full screen. Come on. There we go. There, see, they're still doing it. It was developer video, but Tim, do you have anything else to say? Or are we done? We're 2 hours and 15 minutes. What I'm saying is with WWDC, there's nothing that just has me going like, yes. Apart from the performance thing, but that ship has sailed. Yeah, he's winding down. Oh, thank you, Darth, for turning off your blade not even before I got out the door. Yeah, son of a gun. Okay, you straddle the power cables there for now. Yeah, he's thanking everybody. Which he should, certainly. It's iterative, that's where we are today. It's iterative. There's some interesting things that are happening, but I don't know. So I certainly look forward to what people say about the early betas of iOS and what have you. But I'm whelmed, which is exactly what I thought I'd be whelmed with today. I don't know when I'll be doing another video. As I mentioned at the top of the video, exactly what I've been spending most of my time on. I did mention that if you do want, to know more about what it is that I'm doing, then you should absolutely subscribe to the email newsletter, which has been going on since 1996. At one time, at top, this is like years ago. I think the biggest it got was 130,000 subscribers in a day and age. This is before Google, but it's still going strong at about 26,000 with the solid open rate. Like, it vacillates right around 20%, 15 to 20% open rate, which is, for an email newsletter, insanely awesome. I'm trying to do that every week. A lot of tech news that you don't normally see, a lot of good essays that I'm able to find. Usually what typically gets ignored by most people who call themselves geeks or nerds or so-called techies. ChrisPirillo.com. That used to redirect to my Patreon campaign, which is still going, but I know that most of y'all will just remember me the next time you need to remember me, and I will continue to operate even when you're not thinking of me. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to what it was that I was saying throughout. Did my best to stay focused with the topic at hand, not veer too far off. But I've got other things I need to be doing. It's good to have you here with me for this very brief time. I don't know when I'm going to see you again. You can find me on social. I'm usually tweeting about things that I find interesting, because that pays just as well as YouTube. I love you. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.